What's up and welcome back to the Forcite Helmets YouTube channel. If you're joining us for the first time, my name's Dylan. Today, I'm gonna take you for a little ride around Sydney and I'm gonna answer your questions about the Forcite brand and our Mark 1 Smart Motorcycle Helmet. About a week ago now, we made a post on the Forcite Instagram page and the Forcite Facebook page. We also sent out a note to our register of interest, which is over 12,000 riders globally now via email, asking you what you wanted to know about the Forcite brand and the Mark 1 helmet. Sydney's actually in lockdown right now. It has been for almost 2 months, which has been really tough. It's really difficult. Everyone's working from home at the moment, so it's all a bit disjointed, but luckily, in the eyes of our New South Wales government, riding your motorcycle does count as exercise. So I thought the best way for me to do this would just be to hit the road and answer those questions through the helmet in a motovlog style scenario. We get a lot of people asking how the helmet performs in that kind of setting. So all of that said, let's gear up, get our helmet on. I'll show you how it connects, how I use it every day, and we'll hit the road and start answering some of your questions. Woo! Did that look cool? Sorry, I've always wanted to do that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is show you how I use my helmet and how I connect up and go for a ride every day. So the beauty of this system is there's so many features between the real-time alerts, the integrated camera, the audio. Every single customer that uses their Forcite helmet and system uses it in a different way. So me personally, because I live so close to the city and most of my riding is in my local area, I don't often need the app and the alerts. I just like to have my music going and I like the camera recording all the time just to make sure that I'm safe if anything happens to me out on the road and I've got footage evidence. What I'm gonna do now is show you how it connects. It's actually really easy the way that I've got it set up. In the Forcite app, we've got a thing called auto record. And if you turn your helmet on and you've got an SD card in, after about 5 seconds, it'll just start recording video automatically. So you don't even need to use the app to fire it up. And that's for people like me. Like I said, if you just want to go for a quick ride and make sure you're protected without messing around, it's really easy. So I'll turn my helmet on just there, and then we'll go and turn on our Bluetooth controller. And now they'll both be connected to my phone automatically. So I can pause, play, skip my music, and my camera is already recording. You can see the little status light there flashing red. So I'm good to go.
Alright, so I had planned on answering the questions motovlog style from the helmet, but I was in a bit of a rush and I kind of just ended up rambling a little bit while trying to concentrate on the road. So look, that's a skill we're going to have to sharpen up over time. Anyway, let's get on with the voiceover for now and jump right into the info. For the benefit of those that may be new to the Forcite journey, let's get a real quick present day snapshot. So as it stands, Forcite has sold and shipped over 1,300 Mark 1 helmets that our customers are using and enjoying right now. So we launched back in 2019 when we toured Australia with our Mark 1 beta models doing demonstrations at motorcycle dealers around the country. At that time, we took 1,000 pre-orders in less than 3 weeks, 700 of which actually sold out in the first 48 hours. After making some small tweaks and improvements based on customer feedback, we finalized production during the COVID-19 pandemic and delivered all 1,000 helmets to those customers by the end of 2020. Just this past February, we added another 300 helmets to our online store and they were sold out within 4 days. We now have over 1,300 Forcite riders playing a proactive role in product development in collaboration with our engineering team, and will soon be unveiling an even more premium facelifted version of the Mark 1 to take to the global stage. In terms of ongoing production and availability, Forcite are simply waiting for the parts we need in order to build more helmets. For various electronic components that we require, global supply lines are a little overwhelmed at the moment. It's the same issue affecting the automotive industry and the same reason it's a little hard to get your hands on a PlayStation 5, for example. That said, we have placed orders with our suppliers, and right now the word is that we'll be receiving our next big shipment around December 2021, only 4 months from now. And that's a perfect segue into our first and easily most popular question: when can I buy one? Now, the answer to this question does depend on which part of the world you're in. Being an Australian company, we do have an incredible amount of unmet demand here at home. Timelines will be confirmed over the coming months, but if the current projections are met, we'll begin taking pre-orders around December and then shipping in monthly batches in what will more than likely be February 2022. Around that same time, we'll look into allowing international customers to start placing your pre-orders, and we hope to be shipping globally for USA and European summer around the middle of 2022. While we do wait wait for inventory to become available, rest assured the Forcite development team is making some serious headway through our pipeline of software features, and with every month that goes by, the user experience grows stronger and more advanced. Next up, can I try one on first? Look, our ideal answer to that question is always yes. Forcite thrives on being part of the motorcycle community and interacting with our customers face to face. We've never been one to hide behind the internet hype, so as soon as Sydney's lockdown has ended, we do plan on hosting more demo events around Australia. We sincerely hope that international travel is back on the cards by mid-2022 so we can come and do the same in the USA and Europe next year. In any case, Forcite customers can take comfort in the fact that the Mark 1 shell is a fairly generic intermediate oval shape. We also have a range of different size cheek pads to fit all models should you need to tailor your fit. Every customer who makes a purchase online will also have the option of a one-time free size swap. Basically, whatever it takes to get you on the road. Next up, what are my options if my helmet is damaged? Now, this was a summary of a couple of similar questions. Someone asked if Forcite had a way to inspect a helmet that had been damaged. Another person asked if the electronics could be replaced if the helmet shell suffered damage. So that's an excellent question with an even better answer for our customers. The Forcite Mark 1 electronic module is manufactured and integrated independent from the carbon fiber shell. So this is great news for customers because it means if you drop or damage your helmet, you may be eligible for our complimentary insurance policy. By the way, we have actually done this for several customers already. If your helmet does sustain an impact of any kind, whether it's from a drop or an accident, you should replace that shell immediately. In most situations, a rider will be out of pocket for the cost of a new helmet. If you're a Forcite customer, you can send your helmet back to Forcite HQ where we will remove and inspect the electronics module, which is one tough unit, and if your module is unaffected, we'll install it back into a brand new shell and send your helmet back to you at around half the cost of an entire new helmet. And as mentioned, that's a policy that every single Forcite customer is entitled to. What is the connection type for communication between riders, i.e. will it connect to a center or similar? So between the helmet and the handlebar controller connecting to your phone via the Forcite app, the system does already do quite a bit of Bluetooth heavy lifting, so you won't be able to connect your device directly to another Bluetooth headset. That said, we've got some epic plans for how group communications are handled within the app itself. So right now, we're in the exploration stages of an in-app feature that will take group riding to the next level, not only for communications, but sharing of ride tracking data, video footage, and much more. If someone in your crew is using a Bluetooth headset, they'll be able to download the Forcite app and jump into your group that way. But again, this one's still in the workshop, and our existing customer base have a lot of work to do with us to have a say in how this all comes together. Now, this question was a good one. Have you thought about incorporating an IMU or similar that triggers an alarm if riders come off? So for those of you playing at home, an IMU stands for Inertial Measurement Unit. Most new bikes have them these days. It's basically a way to collect data on movement, usually for the purpose of adapting to change conditions in real time. So on a bike, it's used for things like traction control and electronically adjustable suspension. In a helmet, it could be used to detect when a rider has crashed and then notify the authorities or an emergency contact. So crash detection is definitely something that Forcite team have discussed and considered, and is actually possible with the current hardware setup in the Mark 1. Our electronics module does feature an accelerometer, which is theoretically capable of performing crash detection, but it is something that would require extensive testing before being released as a feature customers could rely upon. The beauty of the Forcite system though, is these types of features can be rolled out to customers via firmware and software updates. It truly is a product that is always getting smarter. Next up, can you adjust the camera angle and what are the specs? Now, the camera angle itself is not adjustable, but the Mark 1 camera does feature a super wide 140-degree viewing angle positioned perfectly in the chin. So it's going to do a great job at capturing the road no matter what you ride. We have customers on cruisers, tourers, super bikes, and everything in between. The camera also records in a maximum resolution of 1080p at 60 frames per second and has excellent low light capability. So it'll still do a great job if you leave for work early in the morning, for example, or if you're riding late at night. We also invested a huge amount of engineering hours into making sure the Mark 1 was super weatherproof, so your camera will perform without consequence to your helmet in the absolute worst conditions, within reason. I wouldn't go trying that one at home. Our auto record feature also makes life really easy if you don't want to mess around with connectivity. Turn your helmet on, and as long as there's an SD card installed, it'll just start recording video automatically. By the way, a Forcite Mark 1 is the only way to record footage on a racetrack. In fact, we sponsor 2 riders in the Australian Superbike Championship and the footage is unreal. We'll post a link to those in the description. Will Forcite be making other styles? Look, the short answer to that question is yes, just not for some time. As part of the Mark II range, we do want to cover all the major styles, so there'll be a commuter, a race helmet, a retro, and an adventure. We're a couple years off that mark yet. We got plenty of Mark 1s to sell first. And if you're on the fence, we highly encourage you to just make the plunge and do it. We're all about customer loyalty, so when the new line comes out, we'll make sure that all customers are looked after progressing to the next model. Alright, we've saved our favorite question for last, and it is our favorite because we love talking about what Forcite have achieved from a safety standpoint. So the question is it safe? The Mark 1 shell is made from super strong, super lightweight carbon fiber and surpasses the always rigorous ECE 2205 certification. Now they don't just hand those certifications out, you've got to give over 50 of your helmets, they smash them up in all different ways, it's actually pretty painful to watch. We mentioned earlier how the electronics module is made separately and then integrated into each Mark 1 shell. Forcite's patented E-module mounting mechanism actually creates a unique anti-shock feature once the module is installed. In fact, our shell's been tested with and without the module installed, and our strike test data shows that the Mark 1 can sustain a higher impact thanks to the presence of the electronics module. So you could go as far as to say it's not only smarter, but safer, which is pretty epic. The electronics are also 100% safe. The Mark 1 uses ceramic batteries that will not rupture or explode in a high impact scenario. So you're well looked after.
Alright guys, gonna wrap up that video there. I hope it cleared some things up. I know we missed a few questions, but I didn't want to make this thing an hour long, so had to prioritize. We did get quite a few software related questions as well, but honestly that's a whole rabbit hole of its own in the best way. So we're about to release a massive update for our existing customers, which involves a whole overhaul to the UI, the UX of the app, and the navigation and real-time alerting software. So I think we want to leave that one for its own video so we can go into depth with some of that functionality and give a bit more meaningful information. That said, if you did have any follow-up questions, feel free to post them in the comments. We'll get in there and answer those for you and we can have a chat there. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep an eye out for the next video. Go and give us a follow on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll see you again real soon. Ride safe.